Sorry guys, the phone, I just uploaded a second recording, but the phone basically ran out of 10 minutes, and then I had a look and the phone said it had less than 5% battery because the alarm comes up, the notification. So I went and put it on charge. That's why. And it was like half an hour later I came out and the sky was like this. So, I'm going to go back to the gym stuff tomorrow, obviously, but, I had 4 days in a row, and then, like last night, I wasn't in pain, but my ankles were stiff, and this is how I know I've come a long way, because I don't have to push through all of that to have respect for myself and say, look, Daniel, you're a champion, because you did even more, and you're just relentless, you're just, you're awesome. If I do 4 days in a row at the gym, and then my ankles and my calves are stiff but not in pain, they're stiff, and it's like if I went running for 15 minutes, then I'd be starting to feel pain, or 10 minutes I'd be starting to feel pain. But if I, just walk around, then they're gonna feel stiff but there'll be no pain. Then I'm like, okay, well, you done 4 days in a row, have a day off, and then go back the day after. So here's the thing, love. Yeah, I've seen some of your. I watched like 2 or 3 of your recordings, and I know that you are a good person and you have the right intentions, but it's just like, how do I put it? Mate, some people say they're crazy people, but the thing is like, hang on, like, usually there's an element of truth, but I'm dealing with all the stuff I'm dealing with, and they used to say knowledge is power, but it's like, okay, congratulations, you figured out that there's 300 soldiers armed to the teeth and you're by yourself, so I guess that you have the power. You're by yourself and you're unarmed, and you figured out and you've come to the knowledge that there's 300 soldiers who are armed to the teeth. Does that mean you have the power? No, it just means that you're aware of it. Now, that doesn't, I believe that God and universe, you follow your heart, it'll lead the right people and all this type of thing, and yeah. So that second recording was going to be tagged to this, but I had an issue pushing onto that, so I'm just acknowledging, but, bringing other people into the, not into the conversation, but, just acknowledging them, So, yeah, at the bar last night, there was about 50 people that showed up that looked like, and there was like 10 or 15 of them that looked exactly like my relatives, but yeah, and then they were like looking at me like this, and then like staring away. Other people would be like just chatting, and it was like, I don't hear the voices now, but my automatic response kicked in, and I was just sitting, I was at a table by myself, and I was sitting watching the Warriors, and I was happy about the Warriors winning, but about all of that stuff I said, and what's going on, and had another lady hiring in the corner, like, pull her phone out, and then like, and she got up, and I got up, and she like turned the other way and threw her jacket right around in front of me, and there was her partner who was sitting in the corner, and he was chatting on the phone, like looking back and forth at me and stuff. So again, whatever's happening there, God protects me, and the guy that ended up coming to sit and talk with me, he was actually a Christian. He was an old guy. And he told me how he had a great life and enjoyed this and enjoyed that. Because the Hurricanes ended up being on after the Warriors. I got it wrong. The Warriors kicked off, it said 7:30 online. Okay, but there was 7:30 New Zealand time, but they were playing against, they're the only New Zealand professional rugby league team, so the other 16 teams in the comps are from Australia, so they were playing their game kicked off in Australia at 5:30, So it was 5:30 there, 7:30 here. I thought it was 7:30 over there, meaning 9:30 here. So no, it was kickoff 7:30 here, and the Hurricanes were 9:30. So that whole Warriors game, I was just sitting there at the table by myself, but the old guy was talking to me the whole Hurricanes game. He was a lovely guy, telling me some of his stories, and he said how it was like ages ago, but then like he knew the parents of this player who was playing in the same team as these as certain Hurricane players, like maybe 2 or 3 different Hurricane players. He said, and like so, like you know, he knew parents because of his playing rugby. He knew the parents of those kids, and then there was these 2 or 3 Hurricane players on the field, and he used to watch them growing up, and he knew their parents. So you know, he had some pretty neat stories to tell. How he he went and lived in England for a while, and over in England he ended up playing some club rugby games. What's their name? Harlequins. Yeah, so yeah, he ended up playing some club rugby games for the Harlequins over in England. So yeah, but anyways, these guys are doing this stuff, and what was I gonna say? If I can live a good life, you know, if I can live a good life and make a decent amount of money and raise a family without kowtowing and selling my soul to the devil, as I'll put it, they probably don't care because of the amount of support they have. And selling my soul to the devil sounds like, because every time I bump into these people that look like my relatives and that they sound like them too, and when they talk to me, they have the same views, of the same perspectives, of the same things, and it's like, my name is, okay, sorry, I'm trying to do a robot. My name is TI790. I am programmed to believe everything that this church pastor has told me to. There are good ones, and no, they are all bad except for this one. They are all bad except for this one. Now, you know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of good church pastors, but you know, when you get gang stalked and harassed, and people want you to lose your employment and things like that because you don't have the same perspective as them, and they want to make sure you don't achieve what you want to achieve because you don't have the same goals and perspective as they do, that's major issues. And for me, if I get to live a good life and make a good, decent amount of money and raise a family, and, you know, remember when I finished high school, I said I was going to either be a professional singer, a professional rapper, or a police officer. You know, if I can make a good, decent amount of money and raise a healthy family, you know, without selling my soul to the devil or selling my soul by just becoming another one of their, what Trinius Henderson would say is a bot, then I win, you know, and I don't care. And then they can make 20 times the amount of money as me, 10 times the amount of money as me. If I'm living a really good life and I raise a healthy family without selling my soul, I win. And that's something I agree with when it comes to Jesus. For what profits a man if he gains his whole world yet forfeits his soul? And then you got yeah, it's just that how his life ended and how my life was going was like, do I want to keep following this guy? But I agree, he's the ideal of what we should be, but no one's being it. And in this world, nice people get destroyed. But I don't want to be horrible either. Now I sound like I'm rambling, but I am. I'm telling the truth. Okay. Is there anything that I missed? Maybe something will come to mind, but I can't think of anything. See you.